So derivative and rate of change. Okay, so consider a curve where you're given the y equals to f of x. This is the function, and this is the secant line, okay, that you see over here, and it is basically intersecting 2 points. This is P, this is Q, point P, and Q over here. Okay, and if you go ahead and find the slope is basically delta x and delta y, right? So delta y over delta x. So we have here f of x minus f of a. For delta y and delta x, we have x minus a. Okay, so this is basically, if we find the slope, to find the slope of the tangent line, take the limit of the slope of the secant line. So if you want to find the slope of the tangent line, we basically have to find the limit at this slope, okay, of the secant line. So the average rate of change of the function on the interval a to x is the slope of the secant line. Okay, so the instantaneous rate of change in the function a is the limit as x approaches of that function, okay, which is also the slope of the tangent line. Okay, so if you go ahead and take the slope of the limit at the function that gave you the slope of the secant line, so you're basically going to get the slope of the tangent line. Okay, so the tangent line is basically a unique line through the point with the slope m tan, and its equation is basically, f equals to f of a m tan, and then you have x minus a, and if you go ahead and do y minus y2, so basically you can go ahead and write that equation equals to, in this form, like y equals to ax plus b. Okay, so like the tangent line equation. So let's go ahead and pretty much solve a problem over here. So we have this function over here given over here, and we have a point over here. Okay, and we are asked to find the slope of the tangent line to the curve, to the graph of the function at P. Okay, and we have this formula over here to find the tangent line, okay, the slope of the tangent line, and we're given the function we have is this one, and the points were already given. This is a equals to 1, and we have the f of x equals to 80, right? So we're given this point, we're given this function, we're given a formula to find the slope of the tangent line. We simply have to plug it in and approach the limit from as x approaches a, and a we are given is 1. Okay, so if we go ahead and approach the limit by a, we are given the function, so f of x. So we are simply have to replace the function, okay, here the function within the equation, so f of x minus f of a. So f of a was 80, so we replace it here, and then we have x. So okay, so we have our x over here as 1, and then it was given to us, right? I mean a, sorry. Okay, so our a was equals to 1, so then we do x minus 1. Okay, now we simply try to solve this. So to try to solve this, we basically have to do some factorization over here. Okay, so we are going to do the addition over here, and afterwards we have to factor a 16 over here. So afterwards we go ahead and factor the 16, we get this, and afterwards we simply have to factor the inside thing. So the inside thing, what we do is like we have to figure out two numbers such that if you multiply them you should get a 5, and if you add them you should get a -6. So those two numbers are -5 and a -1. So if you multiply them you get 5, if you add them you get 6. Okay, so this is how we factor them, and this is how we gonna write it. And afterwards it's pretty simple. Once you have factored, you can cancel out the like terms and you're left with this one. Okay, so you're simply cancel out the like terms and you're left with this one. You're simply going to plug the limit in, and you get 64 as the slope of the tangent line. Okay, don't worry, I'll go over some problems later, but right now it's just to build the concept of the derivatives. So I'll solve so many problems, it's gonna make makes more sense. Right now I'm just like going with the flow and like trying to explain you guys what derivatives are actually. Okay, so find an equation of the tangent line in part A. Okay, so now we found the slope as 64. Now we have to find the equation. So the equation, like I said, it has to be in the form of mx plus b or ax plus b, doesn't matter. Okay, and we're already given, where we have found the slope, we're given a point 180. So this is the x value, this is the y value. So we simply have to do some algebra over here, that is high school algebra. We found y equals to 64x plus 16. That is our slope of tangent line. Okay, so it's basically like a curve that you have over here, because it's a negative curve, so it's like a downward facing parabola, and this is like a slope of tangent. See, tangent line is basically a line that touches the curve only at one point. Okay, so it is touching at this point, and we just got an equation of this line as y equals to 64x plus 16. Okay, so now let's try to move on. So we have this graph over here. As you can see, we have again a p in q of a curve, and we are letting h equals to x minus a and h equals to and x equals to a plus h. Okay, so that is So here we have a definition written over here, rate of change and slope of tangent line. So now I'm just going to show you a version 2 of it. Okay, I've shown you a version 1, now I have a version 2 of it. Okay, so the average rate of change in the function on the interval a plus h is the slope of the corresponding secant line. Okay, so we have a secant line over here, and this is the equation of the secant line from this graph over here, like a plus h, a f of a. So this is our delta y, and this is our delta x, right? So this is what our equation is going to be, f of a plus h minus f of a, and at the bottom we're going to have an h. So the instantaneous rate of change at a is the, so again, if this is the slope of the secant line, and if we want to find the instantaneous rate of this one, so then we'll have to find the limit of this one, right, as h approaches 0. So which is basically going to be the slope of the tangent line to the graph, right? So if we go ahead and try to find the equation, the slope of the tangent line of this graph over here, that is given to us, and we are given a point over here, and now we're using the version 2. Okay, so that was from version 1, the equation that we had, this equation, and now we're trying to use equation number 2. Okay, so using this equation, so and then I'll pretty much tell you guys like why are we doing this. Okay, so we have a plus h over here and f of a over h. Okay, so a is basically 1, the point that is given to us, and we have our h as equals to, we are approaching h equals to 0, but the h is gonna stay over there, and we have f of a, and f of a is already given to us, that is 5. Okay, so now we're simply going to plug our value in. So a 1 plus 5 minus f of a, which was 5. Okay, so if we go ahead and do this, and then we have divide by h, so we get this. Okay, so basically what we're saying is like wherever you see an x into the function, you have to replace it by 1 plus h. Okay, so we have this function over here, so we see x cube, so we have 1 plus h, and we're gonna replace it, we're gonna replace x cube with 1 plus h cube. So every time you see x, you're gonna replace it with 1 plus h. Okay, and now we're gonna have 4, and now this x is gonna replace with 1 plus h. So this is what we have at the top. Okay, and then we have a negative 5 and divided by h as well. But let's do it step by step. Okay, so first of all, we're just solving this thing. Okay, so it's easier if we factored it later. Okay, so now if we go ahead and try to solve this, so this basically what you have to do here is I think you can ignore this thing over here. That was just, I think, a typo, let's say. Okay, so here what you basically have to do is, because you have you see a plus b to the cube, and a plus b to the cube can also be solved like a plus b squared and then a plus b, right? So this is what you have to do. So you basically have like 1 plus h squared multiplied by 1 plus h, and a plus b squared, you guys know that is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, right? So that is what I did over here. So I did like a squared plus 2ab, so 1h, 1 times h, and then you have to multiply by 2, so 2h, and then b squared, so that is h squared. So now we have this equation for a plus b squared. Now we have to multiply this with this term. Okay, so if we multiply this, so that becomes a 1, that becomes a 2h, that becomes an h squared, and this is h, 2h, h cubed, subtracting the like terms over here, and then what are we left with? If we go ahead and subtract the like term, we are left with this part. Okay, this, and afterwards, after I was done with this, with subtracting the like terms, I added this part that I was talking about, that we have to take care of, 4 plus 1 plus h. Okay, so 4 plus 1 plus h, we're gonna add it later. So afterwards, like after we have simplified this, we are adding, we have to multiply this, so we have 4h, and then we have, so that would be like 4 and 4h. Okay, so 4, and then we have 4h, and after we are done with this, remember we have to put a negative 5 and h as well. So okay, so negative 5 and h as well. So this is what we have as a whole equation. Now we just try to solve it. So if we try to solve it, so what I did, I just put the like terms here, like h squared and then 3 squared and then h over here, right? So that is pretty much what I did. And here what I'm gonna do is like here h squared, 3x squared, and then I'm just gonna add the like terms that I have. So 3 and 4, that's a 7, and then we have a 5 over here, and then negative 5, and 5 and 5, they're gonna cancel out each other, right? That would leave you 0 over here. Okay, so that is gonna be 0. So then what do we have next is we simply have to factor an h over here. If you cannot factor an h, that means you have done a mistake. Okay, so you simply factored out an h and you're gonna cancel these two out and you're gonna put your limit inside, so that would be a 0. Okay, and for this and for this, that would be 0 0, and you're only left with 7. That means your slope of the tangent line is 7. So now the point that you're given 1 and 5. So since we were given this point, you simply have to plug the inside the equation and you get this -2 over here. And so your final answer would be 7x minus 2, and this would be the slope of the tangent line. So we used if we use the version 1 definition, we would get the same exact result. But the thing is, why we use the second definition? Because the second definition, it makes our the second version that we had, this makes our life so much easier, because it's easier to do the it's easier to factor this one. All right, so the derivative of a function. So far we have found the intersection at one fixed point, like f of a and like at point a and f of a on the curve f of x. If the point is moved along the curve, the tangent line also moves and the slope changes. The slope of the tangent line of f of x, it's itself a function called the derivative of a function. Okay, so basically what you're saying that if you have, so it is pretty much saying that if you have a point and you're moving it along the curve, so the tangent line, it is also moving with the curve, right? And the slope of that tangent line is basically itself a function, and you will call that function the derivative of a function. Okay, so here it's basically the derivative of a function is the function. It's basically, so f prime of h is basically the derivative of this, and this is how you're going to find the derivative of it: h plus h minus f of x over h, and as x approaches 0. So if f of prime exists, we say the f is differentiable at x. Okay, so again we have this function over here. Now we have to find its derivative, f prime of h. Okay, so how are we going to find this? So this is the formula to find the derivative of x. So h plus x plus h minus f of x over h. So we have this function over here. We need to replace everywhere we see an x with x plus h. Okay, we're gonna replace it with x plus h, 16 x plus h squared, 96 x plus h, and then minus f of x. Okay, so f of x would be just the function itself. Okay, so negative the function itself. So since it's a negative, remember you have to multiply the whole term with this negative sign. Okay, so then here it becomes positive, and here it gonna become negative. Okay, so now you simply have to multiply this. So a squared plus b squared plus 2ab for this one, and this, then here you have to multiply this 96x plus 96x, and now you can go ahead and multiply these. Okay, so now we multiply these with the 16, so that is 16, 32 and 16. Okay, so we have this, and afterwards we simply have to cancel the like terms over here. Okay, so if you go ahead and cancel, so this and this cancels out, so we're left with this, this and this. Okay, because these two, they cancel out as well. And afterward we simply have to factor in h, and if you're not able to factor in h, that means you have done a mistake, so you have to be able to factor in h. So next we factor in h, because then h everywhere. So if we go ahead and factor in h from this equation, so here this h is gonna come out, this h squared is gonna go over there, so we're only left with 1, and here you had 1, so you are left with nothing here, and then you can subtract the h and h. After you have cancelled the h, you can go ahead and approach it from the limit as x approaches 0, so you get 0 over here, and you're left with this one. So this is basically the slope of the tangent line that you get. The function, this basically give you the function which finds the slope of tangent line at any point in the curve. Okay, so basically like you have this curve given over here, and you want now you have basically a function which gives you the slope at any particular point in the curve, which gives you the slope of the tangent line. So okay, so derivative is basically the slope of tangent line of slope and slope of tangent line at x equals to 0. So if you want to find basically if you only wish to find the rate of change or the slope of the tangent line, so you have to use these formulas. But if you don't want to find the rate of change, if you want to find the function of the tangent line, so that is how you get the function of the tangent line. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.